What's up, gurus? It's your boy Pablo, wishing each and every single one of you amazing gurus a happy Monday. In today's video, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite artists of all time, a truly legendary artist and figure in music, and his wonderful debut album that I happen to have on vinyl, and you all are in for a treat, especially if you've never heard of this artist before. But before we dive into that, I want to give a huge shout out to all of you gurus who are already following us. But if you're not already following us on our socials, be sure to do that at Ask Your Guru app, and also subscribe here at Ask Your Guru TV. But most importantly, download Ask Your Guru from the App Store or sign up at askyourguru.com. We can't wait to see you share your favorite music, books, movies, and TV shows, and we guarantee you'll get the most amazing, life-changing recommendations right back, because we've got the greatest algorithm in the entire world, and that is you, the awesome gurus. And now, without further ado, I am so excited to tell you about one of my favorite artists and also one of my favorite vinyl records of all time, and that is Safe as Milk by Captain Beefheart. What can you say about the great Captain? That is right, Captain Beefheart. I'm going to give you a little bit about a history about the man, the myth, the legend, and then I'm going to talk to you about this album, Safe as Milk. So, Captain Beefheart was born in Los Angeles, and a lot of people say that he was actually a child prodigy in art, and that he showed signs of being a very, very talented sculptor. And he was featured in different things throughout the Los Angeles area relating to sculpting. And so it's very clear that Don Van Vliet, who we know as Captain Beefheart, was just a talented individual, very intense in whatever he decided to pursue. And so his family eventually moved towards the outskirts of Los Angeles, and basically the area, if you're familiar with Los Angeles, Lancaster, which is North Los Angeles, actually not too far from yours truly. And Don Van Vliet, Captain Beefheart, started to get into music, and he actually happened to go to high school with Frank Zappa. For those of you who don't know Frank Zappa is one of the most talented guitarists of his time. This guy was virtuoso, like literally on some Jimi Hendrix type of stuff. And I really like some Frank Zappa records. For me, Frank Zappa is one of those musicians where when he's on, he's on. Like when he's in his bag, when he's in his jazz, groove and like his rock groove, he's one of the best. He's just one of the best. Like to do it, Frank Zappa, when he's in his, he has a way of finding his, the groove. When he does find it, Frank Zappa is up there. And so we'll do a video on Frank Zappa at some point, but basically he and Captain Beefheart were longtime friends and collaborators. Sometimes they had a complicated relationship, but you can't dispute the effect that Frank Zappa had on Captain Beefheart's career. And so Captain Beefheart was at some point signed to Frank Zappa's record label. And while Captain Beefheart certainly had a cult following, and for me, people that love Captain Beefheart's music, I identify a lot with them. I think that those people I love when people can recognize genius. And for me, Captain Beefheart fans, they recognize his genius. And he certainly is a genius. If you listen to some of his music, again, Captain Beefheart, when he's in his bag, when he's in his rock and jazz groove, Captain Beefheart needs to be studied for all times. He had a way of slipping in and giving you the truth, like what an artist should give you. Captain Beefheart could give you. Captain Beefheart has given me. I consider Captain Beefheart not only a legendary musician and artist, in some ways, and you guys might think this blasphemous, he's like a prophet. Because there's a particular song actually where it's called Trust Us, and it's on one of the early albums of his in the outtake of Safe as Milk. So not on the original vinyl release. There's oh, actually Trust Us, I think Trust Us actually is on here. It's another one. Okay, no, so Trust Us isn't on this, but it's on the reissue. And so in Trust Us, the song, it's like Trust Us Take 9. He has this beautiful entry. He says, "The flow is the task above today. There is no other way." I can recite that from the heart like it's poetry, like it's a verse. And Captain Beefheart was a poet and a wonderful musician. And think about that. The flow is the task above today. There is no other way. The flow. Captain Beefheart is telling us that through his music. And that's why I love Captain Beefheart. There's later on in that song, he sings, "You gotta trust us when you need a friend to find us. You gotta look within. You gotta trust us. You gotta trust us before you turn to dust." Oh man, Captain Beefheart, man. Captain Beefheart was one of the goats of rock, real rock and roll. That man was not faking it. He was the real deal. Anyway, Captain Beefheart, such a legendary figure, especially Los Angeles. He is a true Los Angeles legend. His music is really Los Angeles, especially the outskirts of Los Angeles. That real fringe rock. This guy's born and raised in Los Angeles, and that cuts through in the music. It's real artistry. He's in tune with his elements. He has the sensibilities, but like almost rejected the commercial whatever package. And he didn't have a lot of big commercial success, but he certainly toured Europe, America, and I wish he would have been appreciated more, especially when he was before he retired from music. But his work will stand the test of time. And eventually, when he retired from music, he went full time into painting and more sculpture. And one of these days, I'm going to purchase for some Captain Beefheart art, because he is. I love this guy so much. I bet you can tell. So, what else can you say about Captain Beefheart? He was certainly enigmatic. Some people said that he exaggerated a lot. Like, he said that he could remember being born, and people say that he exaggerated a lot about his life. But whatever you say about him, he was a true artist, and he actually has some epic lines. He said that if you want to be a different fish, you got to jump out of the school. So I love that line, because I think it captivates his mentality, and he was able to give us so many great songs and albums because he was totally nonconformist, but he had a musical ear. When you listen to some of his best songs, there's nobody touching Captain Beefheart when he's at his best. And so, one of the reasons why I like Safe as Milk, love it so much, is that not only are there so many good songs, It actually has Ry Cooder on guitar in the very early parts of Ry Cooder's career. And for those of you who don't know Ry Cooder is a titan in music. He's one of the best guitarists of all time. He has played with many wonderful musicians, and some of whom he played with the Buena Vista Social Club. So Ibrahim Ferrer out of Cuba, they recorded that Grammy award winning album together. Ry Cooder made that happen, and Ry Cooder is one of my music heroes, and that's another Los Angeles guy. So I have a real affinity with these guys, and they've had a deep impact on my life. And so, you know, Captain Beefheart, Ry Cooder, all these guys on this album. I'm just gonna tell you a few songs that I love on this record. Zigzag Wanderer, he's just belting Zigzag Wanderer. Like, man, this is real desert rock. Like, if you really want to know what real Los Angeles, especially outskirts rock sounds like, man, you got to listen to Beefheart. Zigzag Wanderer is a banger. And sure enough, yes, I do. I love that song. It's like a ballad. Electricity. Oh man, I'm like ear to ear talking about this record. I love Electricity. He the song sounds like electricity. Let me put it like that. And his voice, it's just, man, Captain Beefheart infused art and music. Truly, I love Beefheart so much. Um, Grown So Ugly is funny. Is a funny one. Yellow Brick Road is like a parody of the Beatles. Um, where there's a woman. Oh gosh, this is R&B at its finest. Like, man, I'm telling you, Captain Beefheart was a legend. This Where There's a Woman is like real blues, like real. These guys knew the blues. They embodied it in their own way completely. And Autumn's Child is like how they pretty much write out the album. It's like Autumn's Child, Autumn's Child, and then he just like gives you some Beefheart poetry, so lovely. And man, Call on Me, another kind of like, you know, ballady song, but this man, the myth, the legend, Captain Beefheart, I love this artist so much. His work stands the test of time, and in fact, Safe as Milk, which is his debut record, it's so good, so good. One of my favorite vinyl of all time. But he's also his album Trout Mask Replica often enters the top 500 albums of all time. And if you give it a listen, it's really a unique work. I will say that it's not for everybody, but if you can give it a listen, nobody does cacophony and what's the technical term? Like, nobody does disharmony and cacophony better than Beefheart, especially on Trout Mask Replica. It is high art. That is, Trout Mask Replica is high art. It is jazz pushed to its limit. It is jazz and blues pushed to its limits. But when they hit the grooves in Trout Mask Replica, it is art. It is literally the highest form of art in music. And I will one day, pretty soon, I will do a whole video on Trout Mask Replica. But Captain Beefheart is one of the greatest musicians of all time. His music will stand the test of time. His impact on real musicians will forever be felt. I wish artists like that would have had more success, but what we can do is to always celebrate them. And Ask a Guru is where we celebrate the iconic musicians. And so I'm so overjoyed to give you this video. And if you know other great musicians that you want us to listen to, be sure to share them on Ask a Guru. If you have a favorite Beefheart song, let us know in the comments. Also, share anything that you love on Ask a Guru, any of your favorite music, movies, books, TV shows. Ask a Guru is where we are preserving and chronicling all of the great works of art. I truly am one of the biggest fans of the Lomax family, who did this for the Delta Blues, and we are doing this for all art. And I am so overjoyed. It's a privilege, but I truly welcome you and thank you, gurus, for being so awesome. Your curation is life-changing and is making the world a better place. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. Be sure to like this video, comment for the algorithm, share it with your friends, family, and loved ones. Also, follow us on our socials. Again, that is Ask a Guru app. And be sure to subscribe here at Ask a Guru TV for more of the goodies. I love you, gurus. Till tomorrow. Peace.